Welcome to our how to make a pinch pot. Let's go.
So we're going to start with a basic technique with clay. This is one of the first things that you learn in a clay class. What we're working with today is just a basic white clay. Clay comes in different colors, just like soil comes in different colors. So you can fire and have a terracotta effect from a red clay, or you can fire and have a white effect from a lighter colored clay. And that's what we're working with today. Now this comes from a chunk of clay, and so usually when you have the chunk of clay, you don't have to work it too much. It's already without the air in it, and that's something you want to remember when you're building with clay. Now this is clay that's going to be dried in a kiln. You can also work with air dry clay. I find Crayola, the little kids' Crayola air dry clay works the best as far as that goes.
Right.
And of course you have the oven fire clay. So basically when you're making a pinch pot, all we are literally talking about doing is pinching the center of the pot from your rounded piece of clay.
Okay.
And what you want to think about doing, anytime you're working with making some kind of pottery, which, a pot would be considered pottery, ceramics is, very similar.
Starting with mine?
You can, yes.
Okay.
So make a ball.
Okay, so we need
Make
to
a nice ball.
Okay, made a ball.
You've made your ball, and now literally all you have to do is stick your thumb in the center.
Okay.
One thumb, just drive it down to make a hollow, and then you just start to work it. And you can really make this pot however you want. What typically they look for with ceramics is consistency. So you want the wall of your pot or your cup or your bowl to be the same thickness throughout is what you're looking for. So see, we wanted to keep this simple, right? This is something you can do at home.
Okay, sure.
You literally could go make clay out of the dirt in your yard if you wanted to, if you were that committed. But just to keep it simple, and also, every every level of ability, so even a little kid can make a pinch pot.
Right.
Even an adult can take a pinch pot and turn it into something really cool.
Right.
So the other things that you can think about doing, these are some of the tools that we use with clay.
Okay.
These are typically used with pottery on a wheel, but it can also be used for hand building, and technically what this is called is a hand building technique.
Okay.
That's primarily what I do is hand building, but I do sculpture.
Right.
You want water, because you can use some water to re-moisten your clay. You want to keep your clay a little bit moist as you're working with it.
So, this here, I'm wondering, is it like art that's also functional? I can use it as like I don't know, maybe a change. Like maybe I have some extra change and I use it as kind of like a change collector.
Absolutely,
like
you could use it as a ring bowl. You could make a little column to put in the center to be, hold your rings in place.
Right.
Absolutely, that's functional. Most clay is food grade as well, so you could literally drink out of it. Where you have to be careful is with your glazes. You want to make sure that you're using, if you're going to use that for something, like if you're making yourself, you could literally turn this pinch pot into a mug by adding a handle. Make it deeper and add a handle.
Okay, yeah.
And what you want to be careful of, if you want that to be functional, where you're actually going to drink some coffee or some hot chocolate out of it, is making sure that the glaze that you're using is food grade.
So this, so next, what would be our next step? So I feel like I've kind of created my pot here.
So if you're happy where you are, you can take a tool out of my cup.
Okay.
These are the used tools. These are nice, neat, but it just lets you know what to look for. You can find these supplies at most stores that sell art supplies. Every place from Walmart to Hobby Lobby to Michael's typically carries. That's actually an old paintbrush. So you can actually, I have a pencil in there that I'll use. You can use the tip of a pencil. You can use spoons. You can use whatever you want to create a design.
Right.
So think about whatever kind of design you want. Like if you want an angled design, you could use a spatula.
Right.
Right, to give that little triangle point. If you want a round design, obviously using this paintbrush, which is about the condition of most of my paintbrushes, because I am horrible on my paintbrushes. And I think that's because I'm a clay artist, and so painting is kind of my secondary.
And a lot of people, when they think of art, they think only of painting. So I think this is like a cool way to introduce something new that they've never maybe considered.
Yes.
I feel like I've made mine. Okay, so now that I have a design, I pretty much just put some like circles inside.
Yes.
And made the edge kind of like a crust. Maybe I'm hungry, like lunch, right? In the back of my mind, I'm thinking about lunch. But okay, so now I've got my design. I've got my pizza crust type of thing going on here. So now what would you recommend?
So if you're satisfied with how it looks and you're happy, because you would be surprised once this is fired and you add a little color to it, you can make that look really funky. You can make that look like a really cool avant-garde piece of art if you want to. So what you do now is you put it aside in a place that has, I don't like too cold a room or too warm a room. So just a good lukewarm, maybe 70-degree room where there's not any direct air blowing on it. And I'll be happy to put that in my studio space for you and let that dry.
Right.
And then I can fire that for you. And then if you want to paint it, you can paint it with alcohol ink. You can use oil colors, oil paint. You can use acrylic paint, whatever you want to do.
Wow, awesome.
It can be a tool of mindfulness, right? Where you're physically doing something and you feel like you're being productive, but you can also let yourself process stuff throughout the day. And there's something important. Okay, this is the therapy part of myself.
Yeah.
There's something important about being physically active while you're trying to process your thoughts. It helps us to not stay stuck in our thoughts. It helps us to move through. It also helps us to have, it's almost a Zen practice, right? It's the Zen garden or the what are the trees? The Zen trees, where you just cut a little bit at a time. Bonsai trees, thank you. Yeah. There's something about that. It's the tactileness, too, of art that I think is so powerful of keeping us in our body. So it's keeping us in our body in the present moment, which is very relaxing and can allow us to let go of some of those anxiety thoughts and depression thoughts and, the stuff that troubles us.
Right, and right now with so much going on in the world, do you feel like art is a good therapy for that or a good outlet?
Yes, absolutely. I, as a therapist and having practiced lots of different techniques with people, I think art is the technique for helping with everything. Not just for helping you process, but it's also a form of expression. It's a form of having your voice, which is so powerful now more than any time ever in history. And what it allows you to, because there's just something about making something, right? That is hope, right? So I'm making something because I trust that I can finish it. That's hope. That's what hope is about. Art is hope in practice. So yes, I think I humbly say that yes, art is very therapeutic and it's very healing.